Angela, can you maybe pick up, maybe and connect with your interest in film and how that plays into these paintings on some level?
It's funny because his piece connects to an alteration of the sentimentality that you were talking about, which is different than sort of direct, sort of one-line sentimentality of like, oh, modern architecture. This is like the thing that was proposed to us that was such a great alternative to, because the humor and the kind of bastardization that's going on in this piece is really my connection to the modern architecture that is in my work, that is similar, if not identical, to the cinema work. But I mean, so the main questions came up in my head. So the way that he's in a sense like altering the film, and a way of just playing with the myth or the mystification of like this utopian ideal, which is modern architect was like this great, sort of idea that was going to be this plateau that we were all going to arrive at when industrialization saved us all. And of course, now we know, given many, many covert, sort of undercurrents of American society have like dissolved that possibility for us. What we have now as modern architecture is basically tourism, right? So it's this idea that, okay, well, if you're going to be in modern architecture, you're going to be really rich, and you're going to have to be a tourist, and that's the only way you're going to afford to live in these buildings. And the films, in a sense, have that layer of the irony of the fact that this is a dissolved fantasy of irreverence of that. And that's the way that I deal with it, which is the way I deal with film, but that's a whole other conversation, is the way that the imagination plays with these fantasies that have been evaporated in our contemporary society. And that the only way that they can exist are in imagined spaces. And I've always been attracted to architects, great architects, because they are mavericks in the sense that they can fantasize these imagined spaces outside of the kind of inherent confusion of contemporary societies.
They can separate themselves and create this alternative
But
reality.
like my work is by no means a nostalgic, sentimental look back at modernism. It is more of a look back at sort of maverick personalities and very self-consciously and affectionately like flirting with the delusion of that as well. So it's very complicated. But yeah, but also the beauty of it. I mean, it's hilarious, and it's like so great to see that movie.
Can you give an example maybe with one of your paintings about how that kind of...
Well, the blue painting in there, the mashup painting, which is dedicated to Brian Burton, who is DJ Danger Mouse, who smashed up the Grey album. He made the Grey album, which is the smash up of Jay-Z's Black album and the Beatles' White album. And it's basically a server space I designed to like projectile vomit like through MP3s into like the consciousness of humanity. Okay, so there's something anti-capitalist about that, but there's also something that is sort of utopian in that as well. But it's not. And there's the building is a Niemeyer building that I cloned and distorted because I don't really give a fuck about Niemeyer. I mean, I do, but I love him. But what I care more about is his sensibility, which is a sensibility that's related to freedom. It's essentially of being able to imagine better spaces. And in a way that only the better spaces exist only in the imagination.
Right.
And so I'm sort of making a semi-asterised parenthesized like conversation with imagined space. In a way, maybe it's more related to cubism in some fucked up way. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I would say.
But Angela, your piece is, let's say this blue painting that has a Niemeyer house that you like and you just stacked the unit one on top of the other one so that it would fit new purposes, new inhabitants.
Yes.
But also the settings in which you place your these modified or cloned modern architecture icons are also very important. They're not just random spaces or random landscapes.
Well, the Grey album The black album and the white album, you know, like black graffiti something or chocolate something unless it's like really good. You know,
So it's a tribute.
yes, it's a tribute, but it's also a kind of fascination.
Irreverence.
Yeah. And I think that all the great tributes have been in a way somehow irreverently, like
Sure.
taken. Yeah.
However, there is this kind of admiration to the ideas then of modern architecture. Is there an intention of not really wanting to know more about modern architecture or know more about the architects?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I emailed you and said, somebody needs to buy that grocery store.
Oh, you didn't say.
There is a house in Provincetown, the Walter Gropius house, it's for sale. Somebody who knows what they're doing should buy that house. I mean, these are rare moments when spatial balances have been created between nature and design spaces, you know. But I think like the Gray album is one of them.